Okay, hello everyone. My name is Jacob Atik, and this is my artist video project, which I've chose to do on MC Escher. So, to start, Maurits Cornelis Escher was born in 1898 in Leeuwarden, Netherlands. Also known as MC Escher, he is a very popular graphic artist who was known for using lithography as his primary way of creating art. Lithography is a type of printmaking where an image is drawn with a greasy crayon on stone or on a piece of grained aluminum. Before becoming a world-renowned artist, Escher originally wanted to become an architect. He attended the School of Architecture and Decorative Arts in Haarlem, Netherlands, but he unfortunately did not enjoy architecture school, and he informed his father that he wanted to quit after about a week. Escher wanted to apply his talents to study graphic arts. After he completed school, Escher would travel to Italy and eventually meet his wife, Jetta Umaker. Escher married Umaker in 1924, and after they got married, they would travel to Rome and live there until 1935. During those 11 years, Escher would travel around Italy and make countless sketches that he would eventually put up in his studio as lithographs or woodcuts. Today, I will be talking about any events and art movements that occurred during Escher's life, his theories on art, if he belonged to any art movements, and how his work shows off visual elements, the functions of art, principles of design, and how he was criticized. Over the course of Escher's short 73-year life, there were not many events related to the world of art, although one notable event that was happening during the middle of Escher's career was World War II. At the time, Escher was living in Switzerland, but the war forced him and his family to move back to the Netherlands. Escher did not appear to belong to any art movements. He would mostly work by himself in his studio. However, a lot of Escher's most popular pieces were made between 1930s and the 1940s. During those years, the most prominent art movements were Surrealism and Abstract Expressionism. These are two examples right here that I put up. The Persistence of Memory by Salvador Dali, and Autumn Rhythm, number 30, by Jackson Pollock. Furthermore, Escher did not appear to have any theories on art. He was making art because he enjoyed it. Lots of visual elements, principles of design, and functions of art can be seen in Escher's work. Although most people have their own standard for art, there are great ways to describe art by applying the basic fundamentals that you learn in an art class. After examining some of Escher's most popular works, he frequently uses vertical and horizontal lines to show sharp edges of buildings or various shapes. Here is two examples of lines that I decided to put up. This is the Tower of Babel, made in 1928 by MC Escher, and Print Gallery, made in 1956 by MC Escher. As you can see here on the building, there are lots of vertical lines going up to the building, and those are leading the eye to what I believe is the focal point, which is about right here on this corner, and the lines go more into deep detail using crisscross lines to create a brick effect, and even simple lines to create the people here on top of the building. And I like how he uses kind of rippled lines to create the ocean without trying to create like a very detailed ocean, if that makes sense. And right here, Print Gallery, this is another good example of line. I like how the lines are curving a lot and kind of moving your eye. Your eye just naturally want to follow the curve and see where it leads you, and it kind of leads you all the way down to the gallery, into the painting, and then back around to where your eyes started at the man right here. So I thought those are really good examples of how Escher used lines in just two of his lithographs. Escher also included a lot of shape in his work. He demonstrates this through his use of geometric shapes and mathematical design. Shape right here. Sorry, I put space. I meant to put shape. Escher uses a lot of shape here, lots of geometric shapes that you can see in the stairs, in the rails right here, how they all have nice little curved angles. You can even see how there's a triangle in the middle right here, and I kind of just like how everything is symmetrical and very balanced, and how just Escher used simple geometric shapes to create a very a beautiful scene. Even in the people right here, they're not very detailed. It's just squares and lines and simple circles without any eyes or nose, or barely even clothes for that matter. And moving on to Escher's use of space. Escher uses a lot of space to help show volume in his art, since a lot of his popular pieces are drawn in three-dimensional design. These are two really good examples of space. Hand Reflecting with the Spear made in 1935 by M.C. Escher, and Belvedere made in 1958 by M.C. Escher. Escher uses a lot of volume here, and of course three-dimensional design. Also a lot of implied depth, which you can see right here in the window, which is towards the back of the room, makes it look like it's farther back. And also in the mountains behind the building right here. It just brings more attention to the building itself. I also like how Escher tends to darken the borders around his lithographs that are already made in black and white. It just brings more attention to the actual piece, especially right here how the sphere is a different color than the actual hand, so they don't blend in together. It's really bringing the attention to the sphere. Same thing right here, how he has the black borders around to really show even more emphasis around the main focal point, which is the building here. The principles of design that Escher tends to use a lot are balance and repetition and rhythm. As you can see right here, Escher uses a lot of symmetrical and asymmetrical balance. Right here, this is more of a asymmetrical design. It's not perfectly symmetrical, but he does have a lot of pieces that are symmetrical. So there's a lot of repetition going on. Repeating patterns are seen a lot through this piece, and also just how he uses the various figures in this piece of art to move your eyes around in a very smooth motion. From the legs of the frog here, the wings of the bird, it kind of just, any way you look at this picture, you're going to end up somewhere in a different place of the piece than where you started. And I just think that's a really cool and amazing way that he made his art. In regards to M.C. Escher's art, I believe that his art represents art for public and personal expression. I say this because Escher was basically painting to commemorate a monumental event or something that inspired him. Escher was known to create artwork off of things that inspired him. He didn't really have a great imagination. In his book, The Magic Mirror of M.C. Escher, Bruno Ernst mentions how Escher found a lot of inspiration while being in Italy. Additionally, Ernst also mentions that Escher could not use his imagination very well, thus he had to see an object in order to draw it. Although Escher was very popular towards the end of his life and for decades to follow, he was not liked much in the earlier stages of his career, and he received harsh criticism about his work. In the newspaper, Escher's work was described as being boring or old, despite the recognition he receives now. Maybe it was his use of expressive theory in which he frequently created art that was based off things that inspired him. However, Escher did not respond to the criticism. He continued to draw things that inspired him, and it paid off. Personally, I do not agree with the criticism that Escher received. After analyzing his work, I am astonished by his skills in design, and I do not see why critics in the 1940s were so harsh on Escher. This right here is actually a snippet of a newspaper from artwork of Escher that was in the gallery. It's obviously in a different language, but it was translated to saying stuff about it being boring and old. And here is my works cited for everything, and works cited for the pictures too. I hope everyone enjoyed, and thank you for watching.